manage being whole as a person, right? Outside of a relationship. And then like I got to learn that yes, you're whole as a person, right? However, it does not take away the value, right? That the female gender, at least in this case for me, adds to me as a person, right? Outside of the boundaries of romantic relationship. And even if you look at the lives of single people like Jesus or Paul, that they had women that were influential in their ministry. So like the relationship I have with my sisters is important nonetheless. Maybe I'm thinking of dating or not. Like it's important that I have a good relationship, and of course that also spreads across to my brothers as well, of course. Right. So I think that was an encouragement I really picked in understanding that, because a certain mindset that we pick from the world is that oh no, we don't need men don't need women don't, like we say it in a way like to make the gender independent, but it's not really what scripture teaches us. So yeah, that was a very big pick for me. Thank you.
Okay, thank you, Joseph. Thank you for that profound sharing. Thank you. Indeed, I learned a lot from that as well. From that very perspective that you shared, I learned a lot from it. So without wasting time, please, Bolaji, go ahead, please.
Yellow. Oh,
Yes, I can hear
can you hear
you.
me?
I can hear
All right.
you.
Okay. First of all, thank you,
Can you
Victor.
be hello? Can you be a
Yeah.
little bit loud? Yes, you.
I think I need to remove myself from the speaker.
The sound that is coming here is not loud enough.
Can you hear me now?
Yes, I can hear you now. You're good.
Is
You're
it
good.
better?
Yes, it's better. It is very much
Okay.
better.
I get question. I no go lie because the thing,
Okay, you're
you
welcome. You're
know,
welcome.
you
I
know,
like that.
straightforward. You know, straightforward at all. First of all, thank you, Victor. I think from the first class of friendship, I think friendship is very key, even before relationship. Um, from the first class of friendship, sacrifice, commitment, humility. I think the word that got to me is reciprocating. That's reciprocity, right?
Yes, yes,
So
yes, yes. You're right.
yeah, and that one is very, very deep. I think I don't know, so I need help. I don't know how to reciprocate in terms of communication. Mind you,
Okay.
it's not like 15 women that is texting me or just it's just one. I'm just saying that in terms of reciprocating, you know, sometimes it doesn't my strong um how would I put it? My weak point might not be that person's weak point. The person enjoys, you know, saying hello, checking up. But I'm not that strong in that aspect, you know. I'm just saying how do we reciprocate friendship that you don't lose yourself, you don't go out of your you go out of your way, you try as much as possible to communicate, but you don't also go out of your way to do things that at the end of the day you can't maintain because of your kind of schedule in terms of friendship, reciprocating that friendship now. So just those basic things of reciprocating, like when two people are not of the same any like strength, you are good at communication, but rather me, I'm good with when we see one on one, we can talk. But if it's on the phone, I don't really have it. I don't even most of the time my phone is just let me check what's going on, and I just drop my phone and I focus on what's going on. So in terms of just building friendship, how do we build friendship so that it doesn't come off like we are not like if you are strong at giving gifts because I'm not giving you gifts, and maybe I am leaning back to always find time to come and see you. How do we build this friendship that it doesn't look like we are taking what that person is doing for granted, and the person doesn't see, and the person sees what we are also trying to do so that it doesn't look like I don't know if you get what you know, it's not the same energy, but it's still I'm with you. Even if I am not replying you as quick as possible, I am still with you and that kind of thing. I hope that makes sense. Another question I have is just in terms of when you are quite the it's like everybody knows you. So it's like everybody says everybody sees you like how would I put it? Everybody sees you already in terms of like you're not what's the word? But I hope you got the first question, Sha. Let me first say
Yeah,
that.
I
Did you
think
get
so.
the first
I
question?
think
And this question is open
I
to
think
anybody and everybody, please. It's not just for one person. I will gather. I'm
okay.
about to drive somewhere, but when I gather the second question and the third and the fourth question, I would, find time
Oh
to just put
boy.
it on the group. Yes,
Okay.
straightforward. Straightforward. So I go put them for
Okay.
group, I beg. But that's my first question.
Okay.
How do you come off that? You see what the person is doing. You are also doing something, but both of you are not of that same energy. You're not like she's the communicating type. You are the physical presence type, or she is the person that shares gifts, and you are the person that just wants to, you know,
Collect.
not really collect, but you are the person that just wants to like like go out more. You want to go out more, but rather she's not really available. So you are
Okay.
thinking maybe because she's not trying to do so much, but she sends you gifts. I don't know if you get what I'm trying to say.
I'm trying
Somehow,
to get
Sha,
what you're saying.
I'm just saying that
Okay.
sometimes if you are not with the person, if you're trying to build friendship, you're not with the person. How do you build that friendship that both of you are on you? I don't know. Resha is in my head. If you get what I'm saying,
Okay.
you get
Yes, I
it.
get. And then thank you, Balaji. I think if you have to ask many questions, I think you've eaten all the time already. Only to one question.
Uh,
But nevertheless, you have
brother,
time for that. You have time for that. And
brother.
at this point in time, I want to pause and acknowledge Mr. Victor Hopo in our midst. Mr. Victor Hopo, please just say hi so we get to know that you're around. Say hi. Okay.
My guy, hello.
Okay. Thank you. Thank you very much. More questions coming, sir. More questions coming. And then thank you, Balaji. Continue to put together the other question. And at this point in time, I want to move on to. I think I want to strike a balance. We have Stella in our midst. Stella, please, you can go
I
ahead
think
and
I think
share.
Adams, I think before the questions pile up, to be
Yes, please go ahead, sir.
Sorry, there was another question someone asked, and that's Osas, but it was a very, very good question. Osas has asked a question the last time about
if you get what I mean.
vulnerability, and I think that question is really, really, how where is that level of vulnerability so that you don't come off as see finish. You tell someone that it's not like I tell someone that, oh, I lied today because of some particular this was what happened, or I had a fight with somebody, and it's like, this person is already looking at you. Are you a liar? Are you a fighter? Do you understand? So what
I
is
get, I
that?
get, I
Where
get.
is that level of vulnerability in friendship? Yeah, especially
Okay,
with the opposite gender.
okay, okay. Thank you, Bolaji. Thank you. Mr. Oppo, you were saying something. Please come again. Mr. Oppo, are you there with us? Okay, I think Mr. Oppo is trying to fix something, and he'll be back with us. And then I want to move on now. We have a question there. And I think Mr. Oppo was saying we shouldn't pile them up. We should just start to address them right now. So, but you'll be joining us anytime soon again. Stella, please go ahead and share your thoughts with us. Stella, are you there? And please go ahead and raise your hand up if you have thoughts to share. And if there's anything you want to. And also, I'll be reading the chat from the chat box. So your hand can be up, and then you can state your question in the chat box. We can also ask that. Okay. Until Stella comes in, I see Mr. Awai's hand up. I wanted to take Oluwakorede. Okay, Mr. Awai, please go ahead. And afterwards, I'll take Oluwakorede.
All right, thank you very much. Good evening, everybody.
Good evening, sir.
Bolaji is fired up, man. It's like everything should just come out of his head and blah. So I want to attempt to give a response to what I think I understand by Bolaji's question. I think he builds it on the concept of reciprocity. Basically, how do you sustain or build a relationship and you both are not on the same wavelength in terms of personality type or the way you think or mannerism or in the things you appreciate or in the way you communicate, so how do you keep up with that kind of friendship / relationship without losing yourself or burning out, if I get that? So hopefully that's what he's asking. And that's what I'm hoping to respond to. So the way I think about it, our speaker, dropped a passage that I just want to piggyback off in the book of Philippians chapter 2, verse 3 to 4. Do nothing out of selfish ambition or vain conceit, rather in humility value others above yourselves, not looking at your own interests, but each of you to the interest of others. So first, before the concept of relationship, say you are, interested in building a kind of relationship with this person. Let's take it out of that space first. I think it's just general principles of community, of friendship. Remember the first conversations we had last Friday, just built generally on friendship and connections. On Sunday, then we built on expanding on the idea on dating in church and all.
Yeah.
I asked that, how do you relate with your friends, first of all, that are different from you? How do you relate with them? How do you keep up with them? How do you communicate with them? The fact is, it's more likely that you would have people who are not like you, who do not, chat up in the way you would, always be chatting. Some people would like to talk. Some people would like, what do they call them? Stickers, safe. Then they use talk. Some people would like physical gifts. Some people would like, acts of service. So, remember the book, 5 Love Languages. So I think, first of all, approaching it from a personality point of view helps you, easily or better navigate whatever friendship you are having. Now, for instance, my wife and I are very different in a lot of ways, either in how we communicate or how we think or the things we enjoy, the kind of movies I like to watch, the kind of music I like to listen to, the kind of things I like to talk about, you get. But in all that differences, we still find a way to, relate with each other. And I believe that is built on understanding and, yes, first, let me start with that, understanding. When you understand this other person, like that this is the type of person, this friend is, and there's a level of expectation you have from either, communicating, following up and all that stuff. You are less likely to react if the person doesn't, follow you at your pace. You get. If the person does, say, like some of the examples that you pointed out, if the person doesn't respond to you via chat, or the person is, demanding, or no, not demanding, appreciates more of visits or gifts, and you also know what you appreciate, and the person is also informed, aware about your kind of person, if both parties, approach the friendship, with the mindset of not thinking about themselves, you're not thinking about yourself, about the other person, then it's easier to have understanding. It's easier because, say, I'm friends with Bolaji, right? And, Bolaji likes to watch movies. I like to listen to music. That's just a very random example there. And Bolaji say, okay, let's go watch a movie. I'm like, oh yeah, I'm not really into that right now. But that's what he enjoys. I know that is important to him. Well, I might as well kind of, for that purpose, try to meet up with him. As a matter of fact, it's even an actual situation. Marvel movies shows up, I'm the first to want to go and watch it in the cinemas. My wife doesn't Marvel anything, right? But because, she knows how important it is to me, she will follow me to the cinemas and, scream with me, even though she may not understand why, Captain America, did one or two, So I think it's a function of, understanding each other first, knowing who this person is. And it is taken for granted that, oh, if you say this person is your friend, that means there are things that you know about each other. So could that also be, if they are experiencing a level of frustration, could that be that you've really not gotten to understand or know this person well? Maybe you need to build the friendship some more. Maybe you need to have more conversations to learn about each other. Maybe you need to observe each other some more to say, oh, so this is your pattern of communication. Oh, this is how you respond to situations like this. So that's, first of all, how I want you to think about it, regardless of the kind of friendship you have. Either you are trying to build something solid, something deep, or okay, you guys are just vibing. The idea of, do not go out of selfish ambition. It's not about yourself first. Like, okay, remember the foundations that was laid. Relationships is about coming to give. What can you add?
Yes.
What kind of value would you be able to add? You would not be able to do that if you don't know the person you are engaging with, if you don't know the person you are relating with. So I think that would put you in a certain mindset that would make it a bit easier for you to navigate the situations. So yeah, that's my attempt to respond to his question.
Okay, I think we have Mr. Oppo in our midst right now. And then before Mr. Oppo speaks up, I just want to remind us of something that he said that was very profound. He said, let's keep the pool clean. Oluwaseun Joseph has helped us with that. The community pool should be clean. Please think about that and help us understand. Give us your own thoughts again. What you understand of that, keeping the pool clean. Mr. Hopo, please, you can go ahead, sir.
Can you hear me clearly?
Yes, I can hear you clearly.
All right. So thanks. And I think the first person that actually spoke, it wasn't like a question, it was a comment. It was like, oh, he's the first. It was never. That was Dio, right?
Yeah, Dio, you're right, sir.
Okay. Just wanted to thank Dio for taking charge, for leading. That's it. That's bold of you, Dio. Yeah. And I also thank Shion also for the feedback. Now to PJ. I think Rotimi has answered that very well. I would not had much. In summary, what I would just summarize what Rotimi has said is, you need to sacrifice. You need to compromise. The scripture, Philippians 2, when you said that thing, that scripture just, that was the right scripture that came. You can't want to do a business. I'm talking about business now, business relationship, without compromising. Business. This is business, not dating. You can't want to have a normal friendship without compromising and sacrificing, without, sometimes what people do to get clients, they go to the extent of going to clubs, or go and hang out with the clients because they want to have a business relationship. So how much more someone who you want to have a beyond superficial relationship with? Compromise. There are many things I do today that it's not my strength, but I learned to do it because of my wife. My wife loves this program, Maso Yimbo. It's one of our favorite. By the way, my wife had A1 in Yoruba. I'm sure she won't be impressed.
Wow.
She had A1. I've never seen anybody in my life who had A1 in Yoruba. My wife had A1 in Yoruba, But guess what? She loves that program because she does. I developed interest in it because I put her, before me. And because of that, she also sees things I like. So you can say, oh, I mean, this is who I am. I don't want to change. Well, you can do that if you want to marry someone or you want to end up with someone who will tolerate you. The person will not end up with you because they love you. It's because they tolerate you. And there's an extent. You can either, tolerate somebody's sin or help the person to grow. And that's not growth. So you need to learn to compromise. You need to learn to sacrifice and put people's interest or your partner's interest ahead of yourself. And that's not even because you're even dating yet. No, it's just normal. Even when you want to take a sister out on a date, some sister, maybe the sister like amala. You don't like amala. What's there? Will it kill you if you eat the amala? I mean, except if you have allergies. You can go to the amala place and you order rice, and the person wants amala. It's compromise. That's how we can have a healthy community. I hope that's clarified things. So I think responding via text won't kill you. If you don't do it before, if you do it, learn to do it twice a day, it won't kill you really. Because if it's a business, Bolaji, trust me, you pursue that business even if you don't like text. You text back. I'll be at the line.
Of course now. Your money
Exactly.
enter.
Exactly. So, and that's money. And money is money. Trust me, money is compared to a relationship. Money is nothing. Yoruba will say, "Eniyan lasho." Shion, how do I put it? Is that the right way to say it? I think it's Eniyan lasho. It means there's a way.
Yes.
There's a way Yoruba says that adage, because without money will finish. But the people it's the relationship you have that will sustain you. So believe me, text is nothing. As long as you're not being called to sin, yeah, you can compromise. Yeah, that would be my comment.
Okay, thank you, Mr. Oppo. I see so many hands up, and it's beautiful. Of course, Adedayo, your hand has been up for a while now. Please unmute and share.
Yeah, thank you very much, Mr. Opu, and thank you very much, Mr. Adam. Yeah, I have two questions. One, I need a clarification, and two is a fear. And second one is a fear.
Guys, go ahead, please.
Okay. My first question is it normal to say you like a sister or you have a crush on a sister in church and try not to give any other person a chance? That's number one. That's my first question. And my second question, which is a fear, is because I noticed one thing in our church community. It's always loud when you actually propose somebody to, like, when you already have a date partner, this person is my relationship. Almost everybody knows about it. But once it does not work out, it just breaks, in which nobody knows. And how do we handle that? Because I can't say I'm done, like, yes, now I want to start dating, because I like it or not, it will be very, very soon. I want to start dating, and okay,
Wow.
the first couple of days, no, not now. maybe I go for the first one, I make it loud, I propose to his sister to be my girlfriend, and something or the other happen and does not work out, and it just died down like that. Like, there'll still be some inspiration of people thinking like, yes, this and this are still together, and it will not just make sense to just ask anybody out on date to be like, oh, you're still with this sister. So it's now start explaining to a whole lot of number of people. How can that work without, like, if you are getting engaged with any girlfriend, to be loud? Why can't we allow everybody to know that we've break up, so that everybody can just move on with their life normally and find another person else? Yeah, that's my two questions.
Okay. Profound. Mr. Oppo, do you want to come in, or we should continue?
I prefer we respond, like back to back. That's better, because sometimes one might not be able to process the question the way the person said it. Do you get? So let me just respond to the gentleman.
Okay.
Yes. So First one, are you allowed to say that you have a crush on someone, Abi?
Yes.
Okay. So in our church, let me not say our congregation in our own part of the world, we have a recommended way of asking someone, not because it is the best way, one, not because it is the Christian way, the most Christian way, no, but because by experience, brothers and sisters have come together to say, let's use this method because it's the best for our culture. Now, there are some cultures that will not work. I'll give you a very good example. If you are dating someone in Egypt, you can't go through a discipler or disciplee or things like that. Why? They don't have that structure there. If you want to date someone in Egypt, you go to the father, you go to the regional leader, and you go to the father. That's a different process. If you are in Germany, you don't go to discipler, you go to the sister directly. Now, for our own culture, it's been recommended that we should go through channels that are safer. One, because we might not be as as outward or as the Westerners, and we might not be as conservative as the Arabians, for example. So imagine you go and meet a sister. Just an instance. I didn't say this is what holds. You go and meet a sister, and you say, "Oh, hi, sis. I have a crush on you," and the sister says, "Bro, I don't have anything for you." Now, in Germany, that's okay. It's no big deal. But bro, on a scale of 1 to 10, for Nigeria, that thing will cause fights. I'm sure some of you agree with that. On a scale of 7 or 8 out of 10. Why? Because we'll take it personal. In Germany, it's no big deal. Oh, really? Okay, fine. And that's it. So, but because of such experiences, so that, like, you remember what I said last week about keeping the pool clean. So we don't draw bad blood. We don't draw bad blood. That's why it's recommended go through this channel. Like I said, it's not a law. It's not, oh, the Bible said it this way. No, it's based on experience and recommendation for our culture. That's why, we go through that channel. So there is no law that says you can't, actually. If you are dating a sister in Germany, you can. But I won't recommend it if you are in Nigeria. I won't recommend it. Do you understand me very well? If you are in Germany, it's very, very okay. But in Nigeria, I won't recommend it because from experience, it has caused several and many bad bloods. Yeah, that would be my response to that.
First response to the first question.
The second question, you said about breaking up. That can we announce the breakup? Is that what you said?
Yeah, something like that. Yes, sir.
There is no law that says also you should not announce. In fact, I know of some situations where people say, "Oh, by the way, Adevo, by the way, guys, this person and I are not together, and everybody's fine. We're friends." In fact, I've heard one of engagements. So we're engaged, but we just decided that we won't go further. So there's no law, there's no rule to it. But you need to understand the culture of where you are. Is that what is permissible in your culture? In our own culture, Nigeria, if you are not that kind, people say, "Yeah, it's inside service. One person can even collapse." So we don't. So the reason why we don't do these things is not because there's a law. No, it's because there's been a thorough and pragmatic understudy of the culture, and we need to say, okay, we can't be extremely to the notes and say, oh, we don't care about culture, because what we're doing is not sinful. Then we recommend that let's do this that is morally and culturally acceptable. So there's nothing wrong with that. In fact, I'm even fine with that. It's just that it's not what I see in recent times in Nigeria. I don't know if Rotimi wants to buttress on that, but that's my response to that question.
Okay. Adams, can I add some thoughts to that?
Yes, you can. Please go ahead.
And the person that asked the thoughts just left the meeting. I don't know if that's a network challenge, but anyway, this is on record, so you can listen to it again. Two very important things that were brought up. The question of expressing feelings or intention, and even expressing when the relationship doesn't go well. I think Victor has actually put it in context. There is no, Jesus says, go make disciples of all nations, baptize them in the name of Father, Son, and Spirit, and teaching them to obey everything I'll be with you shortly. Before he left, he didn't tell us exactly how to, make the disciples. He just said, teach them, you get. So we are hoping that we'll figure it out. We'll find what works. And as we see also in the Bible, in Acts, shortly after all that, the church community started, there were conflicts, there were different things. So over time, things and patterns began to emerge. Okay, when it comes to food sharing, let's delegate this so we can focus on that. Before, the apostles were doing everything. So what's the point of that? God hopes that we will, by his Spirit, come up with things that resonate with our realities. That's why we have to now begin to think within the confines of what the Bible has laid in how to build relationships. There are over 59 or 60 one another passages in the New Testament. Love one another, pray for each other, encourage each other, rebuke each other. Lord, there are a lot of what, how to do it is what is not clearly stated in some cases. So we have to ask ourselves and think, okay, so how do we, put this together? Like he rightly said, the process of, officially having a dating relationship, there are things that have been thought through as like, okay, you know what? I guess it would be good if, because you don't want to mismanage emotions. Emotions are very, very wild, fragile, and everything in between. By God's grace, I've had to, intercede at different points for different people who have feelings for each other. Some people, it will be mutual, it will be both ways. Some, it is not. I've seen people where, their faith was affected because they were turned down. That's, okay, this person does not like me. Or this person doesn't reciprocate, So imagine cases like that when the brother or sister directly goes to meet, the person and expresses, oh, I like you, let's be dating. And it doesn't go as anticipated. People have done different things that has not really sustained their faith in that way. Now, some people try it, and for whatever reason, what they see is what they get. But we as a church, I say, okay, you know what? So that we can manage the emotions, we can, also sustain what we have. Can we go through this route? Okay, if there is an interest, okay, let's discuss it. Let's be sure that it is a mutual thing. Then, okay, we can go ahead with that. So it's basically a way to, let's think of it as another dimension of keeping the pool clean of bad blood. So let's follow this part. The Bible talks about not removing the ancient landmark in Proverbs 22. You get the idea of that is, okay, what has worked? What has worked? You get, can we try to follow that, rather than trying to think of reinventing the wheel, as long as it is not calling you out of righteousness, or it's not leading you to sin against God, So that's one. Then the other question of, okay, why don't we declare it when people also break up in a certain relationship that doesn't work? First thing is, I ask myself, why do we even loud it in the first place? Again, it's a recommendation of, of how we should, declare that, oh, we're in a relationship together. There's no rule anywhere that says it has to be loud. I believe that the primary goal of that whole let's, make the intention known is so that at least whatever you guys are doing is no longer, under the code. The way you are liking a sister, you are liking a brother, and you guys are giving yourself eye, before, during, and after service. Do you understand? And people are becoming suspicious. Like, I waiting to happen. This one where they always see you one or two every time you get. But it's okay, let's just come and state it out clean so that people know that okay, we are actually in a relationship and there's nothing hidden or it's not a secret something. That's primarily the goal, right? It doesn't have to be an event. I know people have gone out of their way to make a big deal out of it. That is people doing, the way the thing they push them for their body, right? But it does not have to be an event. You get. So similarly, that's just what I think. Similarly, I don't think it has to be an event. Again, if it doesn't go well, like you now have to come out publicly to declare that, okay, we are no longer in a relationship, or, similar to just how Victor explains it, the context of how will our community perceive, understand, or respond to things like that. In certain places, like he mentioned, either in Egypt or in Germany, it's a, okay, everybody did, yeah, okay, it doesn't work, it's not working, all right, everybody find their level, right? But there's a way that would mean something else if it is done exactly in that sense. You get. So first off, I think before we think of why shouldn't we also laud it when it doesn't work, I think the question is, did we need to laud it in the first place? You get, so making it an event. Of course, if the goal is, okay, let's it be known, it's just a couple of friends. You get, like, oh yeah, this I'm going to start dating this person. A couple of 2 friends or so, or 3 or 4. You guys do your thing and you go on. So that also doesn't put pressure. That also doesn't put pressure on either of the parties. So yeah, that's my thoughts to what he has asked.
Thank you, Mr. Awale, for that amplification. Thank you. I think my guys are Oluwakorede, please go ahead. I don't want to say anything. Your hand has been up, I can imagine. Please go ahead. And then afterwards, just make it brief, and we have John Israel again to share.
All right, can you guys hear me?
Yes, a little bit scanty.
Okay, how about now?
Yeah, perfect. Please go ahead.
All right. Okay, so first of all, I want to sincerely appreciate Mr. and Mrs. Oppo for sacrificing their time and sharing their knowledge and experience with us. This topic is, I'm very interested in this topic because me, I define love. Yes, I'm admitting it. I'm tired of pretending, guys. I define love. But I want to go about it the right way, and what they have shared with us
you will find it. You will find it. God willing, you will.
Amen. Oh, amen.
Yeah, the things you have shared with us has really helped me reflect and has put me on the right path, really. So thank you again for your guidance and wisdom. I have a lot to share in terms of what I've learned, but because of time, I'm just going to ask my questions. I have 3 questions. My first question is, so first, I think, I don't know whether it's a thing of my generation or it's just the times that we are in generally, but like there's always this, I think I asked this question last week, but I didn't get enough clarity. That's why I'm asking again. There's always this pressure to want to put a label on things. Like you are trying to get to know somebody, you're spending time with somebody, like you are, whether or not you are liking them or not, like there's always that pressure to label things. When it gets to a certain point, some people, it can be the guy in the friendship, it can be the girl in the friendship, they just want to put a label on it. Okay, what are we? I want to be sure that I am not leading you on. And that kind of question is tricky because first of all, you don't want to say, oh yes, we are just friends, I see you as a friend, because that's kind of counterproductive if that's somebody that you are romantically interested in. Because what if you say, oh yes, I just want us to be friends, and you just permanently get locked in the friend zone forever? And of course, you don't want to be too forward as well and say, oh, it's because I'm interested in you, that's why I'm asking you on a date. How do we navigate that terrain? Because it happens. I have seen it happen so many times to me as well. So, and it's usually very tricky for me, like to, answer that question. So that's question number 1. Question number 2 is, I think last week a question was asked about money. I don't remember how the question was asked, but I remember a few things from the answers. I think Mrs. Oppo shared that when one of the things that ladies really look out for is whether the brother, the guy, is financially secure. Like they are looking out for financial security. It doesn't You don't have to be rich, you don't have to have a motor or something like that, but just to know that okay, this person is financially okay, right? And she mentioned a very, very fair point that I really liked, that okay, so when you is not fair to expect that from a student, because it's just a student is not working, and even if he is just for him to get by while he's in school. So now what does that mean for us that are the students in question, that we don't have this financial security? Is it advisable for us to just hold off on trying to build any relationship? Because we know this about ourselves, feelings they grow. I know that I'm not mostly buoyant.
Oluwakorede, hello, Korede.
Yes.
Can you come through again? It was the line was scrambling when you were saying. Can you just rephrase the line again, please?
Just the last two sentences or so.
Yeah, just rephrase them.
That, let me use myself as example, that I don't have financial buoyant at the moment.
Korede, I think hold on. The problem is not that you are not clear in terms of what you're trying to say. Is we could not hear you. The network was breaking up. So if you can reposition yourself, your location or something. So it was not as if we were not understanding. We're not hearing you clearly. Hello, can you try to speak? Okay.
Can you guys hear me now?
Aha, wonderful. This is
yes, we can hear you. Yes.
So just the last bit of what you were saying.
Okay, so I was using myself as an example. I said I know I'm not financially secure, like in that sense yet, but I'm really looking for love, and I know that people that's a requirement that people are looking for, right? Being financially secure. So do I just hold off on
Korede, we lost you again. We lost you again.
in that relationship, so I don't break my heart? Because okay, I like this sister, and this sister sees me that, oh, this person, do I just take a break?
Hello?
Korede, you are muted.
Yes. Korede, you're muted. Can you unmute, please?
Can you hear me?
Yes, we can hear you. Please go ahead.
Problems. Yes, so that's my second question. Like, for people like us that we want to be in relationships, but we are broke, should we just give up until we are okay, we are financially stable? And yes, that's my second question. My third question is a question that Osas asked last week. I think Polanyi mentioned it, but question about vulnerability, where sometimes when you share some things, like in the spirit of encouraging one another, you share some your struggles, and we don't know what is going on in people's minds. Maybe some of the things you have shared have made them think that you're our partner. I don't know if you guys understand. So where do we draw the line? What's the pressure for being vulnerable, so that you don't say things and later in the future you want to maybe ask the sister out?
don't know if I don't know if it's my side. I'm not getting Korede clearly.
So I think let's just try to take the first question he asked. I guess the second question is trying to say, okay, there is a financial status, and what happens if you're not yet financially stable? Do you pursue relationships, or do you just wait till you're able to get something on your hands and all that stuff? So I'm not sure where he's driving at, but that's kind of the intuition I'm getting in terms of the second thing he's saying.
Okay. Mr. Oppo, please. Was that clear enough?
Okay. Yeah, I think I understand his first question, which I somewhat agree with him. The one of putting a definition on the status. I think he's saying that must it be done? Must we have a definition on the status, or how does one navigate that? And the second question was on your state of your finance. If that's something that should be a qualification or requisite, or how does it navigate that also? So I'll start with the second one, bro. If Korede, I hope Korede is on this call to hear this. If there is, I say this.
Yes, I am.
Any brother or any sister on this call, okay, good. If there is anybody who in your relationship at a very early stage starts hammering on finance and is trying to measure your character with finance, run. That's a red flag. It is a very, very red flag. I have dated 3 times in this church before I now met my wife. My wife is the 4th person I dated, and I got married. We have very godly sisters in the church. None of the sisters I dated, none of them hammered on finance. I dated someone who was a lecturer in the university while I was a student. She was a lecturer and finance was never, for how much. I think what causes that is poverty. When people are Nigeria is a very poor country, I mean, sorry, there's no better way to say it. I can't say that way. My family group told me he said he's coming with his wife next weekend. He was telling my wife and I 2 weeks ago they're coming and they'll spend some time, blah blah blah. I was like, oh, okay. So is he also going to get? He said no, they don't have money. They just got married last year. They got married while they were in school, so they don't have any money. They're going to live with us for a while. I'm like, oh, Oyinbo people. In my head, I'm like, Oyinbo people. I said, how old are they? He said the wife is also 23 or 24. So they got married on campus. The last thing on their mind is who get money. These are people who are, they're going to be professionals. In the next 5 years, they're going to be rich. Why? They're in a country that set them on that pedestal. What am I trying to say here? I'm trying to say that they did not measure each other based on money. It's on now. It's about the potential. And that's important. If you have a sister or a brother who does not have the ability or capacity to see your potential, run. Anybody who wants to is somebody who does not see you now, or who can see what you can become in the future. Brothers in our church who are not money driven, who are looking for character. They want to measure character, not finance. Search Korede, you will find them. If you have anybody who is already run, that person is empty. That's an empty barrel. Do you know how many? My mom told me. My mom is she's a.
I think the network is not being unfair. Not being fair. Topo, are you there? Okay. We hope to get you back on board.
Sorry about that. Sorry about that.
Okay.
At what point did you lose me? I hope it's not too long.
About your mom, you were going to say something
At
about
what point
your mom.
did you lose me?
We are going to say something about your mom.
Oh yeah, okay. Thank you. Okay, my mom worked and with the Ministry of Women Affairs, and my mom would tell you that, man, there are a lot of people they just get married, and after 2 months, they'll come break up. When you not find out what happened, they'll do big wedding. The reason why the person, the guy get money die, Oh, but guess what? The guy has mental problem. He treats a girl like a dog. So money is nothing. What you should look for is godliness, character. That's what you should look out for. Money will come. Money will come. And if you're a sister or a brother and you're trying to date someone because of money, OTC, you don't feel am, because that doesn't measure character. Somebody who has money today, who's has a lot of money, can have terrible character tomorrow. But somebody who has a good character, man, disciplined, diligent.
Okay. Okay. I think the network is a little bit wavy. Well, I think Mr. Hopo was really trying to encourage our Korede to be very, very mindful and be very, very thoughtful about his moves. And of course, beware of the people around him, especially. Yes, sir, please continue, please.
So I'm so sorry about that. I don't know. I was saying that I don't know if Rotimi wants to respond to the other one. I should respond to the other one.
You can go ahead.
Okay. The second question, that's on, I think, what's the first one again? Please remind me. That's why I like answering the question as they hot.
Before the team gone, declaring your intention, defining the relationship.
That's it. That one is a very, very good question. And, I don't blame people because, they want to know. So this is not, by the way, this is also not a law in the Bible, right? It's just us as humans, coming together, saying what's reasonable. So in our church, at least in ICOC Nigeria, I know that there are 4 stages. There is friends, brother and sister, platonic, just friends. The next one is dating, liking, crush, and all those ones. They were not there before. I don't know the people that manufacture those ones. I think it's them Rotimi people. It's all these Rotimi people. All these people who like love that, And what's the essence? So the essence is that you're friends. The moment you start feeling something beyond superficial, it's reasonable to now focus and date the person. So you try that the feeling is emotional. So when all this one, when they came, how do I say, sometimes it stresses the friendship, because you are saying, oh, you're not dating someone, but you guys are already doing everything that dating are doing. So why don't you just date? Why don't you just date? Get my point. So it should be friendship, dating, engagement, marriage, not friendship and liking brother, liking sister, my crush, and my special one. Then it complicates things. It's friendship. If you have something for a sister and the sister has the same, date. No if you go work or not. Nobody's the one way when I go they make call, do extra cool, and you guys are still saying friends. That's confusing. That's my take on that. Rotimi, what do you think?
Absolutely. Context, some people might not know what extra cool is. I was literally explaining it to someone earlier this week. Yes. Yeah, I think it's don't think about it this way. They call it that stages of love, right? When you start feeling bubbles in your stomach and there's infatuation. That's typically at the early stage. After a while, that initial rush and, oh, I can't sleep without you. I can't eat bread and beans without you. It has to be in your presence. You know, all those gymnastics, it's the first stage of attraction. That is normal. It's supposed to happen. If you are feeling that way, that is God putting it there. That is what attracts you to the other person. So when you get there, don't be quick to start declaring and defining. Trust me. You don't want to, because that feeling will fade. It fading is not a bad thing. It's just biology. You get, because even sometimes when you get closer, you begin to understand the person some more, and you know, you might begin to feel a certain type of way that was different from how you were feeling before. And that's fine. You get, because hey, everybody comes with their different strengths and weaknesses and all that stuff. Remember, if the foundation is you are coming into the friendship because you are trying to add value, you're not just thinking about yourself. So if you were attracted into that friendship because of, you know, you were having some mushy-gushy, it's okay. Then come with the mind of, okay, how do I, you know, build and encourage and strengthen this person? How do I add value to this person? Because if you start right off the bat and you are declaring emotions, you are confining the scope of your relationship already. What happens when that feeling goes away? What happens when, if now you way you they talk, I love you, meaning I know see you, I know feel sleep. If you never do message, I know feel sleep. What happens when you stop feeling that way? What happens? So you don't want to lock yourself in a corner. The Songs of Solomon, chapter 3, verse 5. Do not arouse or awaken love until it so desires, until it's necessary, until it's ready. You know, start even if butterflies are flying, you have to exercise some constraints first. You know, observe. This thing do me, this thing where they talk, it do me. I'm telling you from example, so I know what it means for butterflies to fly. You get, but chill first. You know, just build the friendship, then see how it goes. You get, so. That's just what I want to add to it because of time.
Okay, thank you, Mr. Hawaii. I just want to read some chats quickly before John Israel on mute and speaks. Oluwa Sean said, character is hard to teach to smart people. And then, of course, Osal says, I think people are scared to date because breakups are nasty. And then, of course, Oluwa said, Mr. Rotimi, you will not start teaching about ladies. Okay, so these are just the messages that we have on our chat right now. And then please, John Israel, your hand has been up as long as I can remember. Please share your thoughts with us.
My hand has been up. Anyways, thank you for the opportunity to, talk. First of all, thanks, Mr. Victor. Thanks, Mr. Rotimi. I mean, this is actually a topic or conversation that we can go on and on and on and on. I mean, 30 or 1 hour cannot do it, but let me just be quick. So I have like a contribution and also a question. You get, so one, my contribution is about, or maybe it can also pass as a question. So permit me to throw a spanner to the wheel because it's all been, everybody do it and all, but what I'm thinking here is more of like, don't you think that there are cultural differences when it comes to dating? You get, because if you look at it, Mr. Victor mentioned that, someone, a university, campus guys getting married at the age of 20 something, and they are coming to, come on. Do you get? You can't have that in Nigeria. You can't. Do you get? So I think what we need to mention here is like, when you need to come back home, because most of what the dating relationship here is way different than what we have in the Western world. You get, so let's bring it back home. And when you say sisters after maybe financial, this brother is financially capable, settle for less. You get, I'm all game for spiritual dating, spurring one another to achieve great things in the kingdom and all that. But whether I would like or not, you need to look at the cultural difference of what works here. So imagine if Korede, for instance, should be in the Western world. What is saying that he wants to date early or he's looking for love or anything, it can be possible for him if he's over there because there's a system that works. That the culture there is so different from the culture here, especially here in Nigeria. You get, so I think we need to, when we're talking about this, we need to bring it back home. All right, we don't compare what we have here and what is happening over there. And trust me, I've tried more to settle down to look at it because most of our brothers that got maybe married to the people that live in the US or UK, you get, if you look at it, not that they are rich like that, you get, but because there's a system that the culture that accepts so many things there. I mean, the sisters were able to look past that. But bring it back to Nigeria. No sister wants to settle for someone that, come on. So I don't know if I'm making sense. I just want them to just throw that in there because we need to talk about cultural differences when it comes to discipleship relationship too. We should not just base on, okay, it's just discipleship alone. It's we need to be the brother needs to be, because sister, both of you need to, pursue spirituality and make sure, okay, you do that right. But let's talk about cultural differences when it comes to, okay, how does it work in Nigeria and how does it, or in Africa, or how does it work in this thing? And let's take it from there and see how we can, because trust me, whatever works over there doesn't work here. And whatever we want to be think like work here, it doesn't work there. And my question to maybe Mr. Victor or this thing, you can answer this question. So this is a personal question. How were you able to, sorry, calm down now, Chief? I'm being the pros. So, sorry about that. So, in terms of breakups in relationship, you get, I know that I've heard people falling away because of they can't be in the church. With that person in church and all, but how were you able to handle your breakup? I know 3 breakups, and because it's quite difficult that this person, you're still maybe seeing this person and all that. And the way I handled my own breakup is actually a mature way. Thank God for discipleship around and all that. But I mean, how were you able to were you able to handle your 3 breakups? That, I mean, 1, 2, 3 before you met your wife, and what things did you put in place to make sure that you are spiritually there and you are emotionally there? You get that at least you are not losing your mind, or you are not you're still fired up. You get. So what were you able to do? So that's my questions. I don't know if you get me, or can you hear me? Because the noise here is too much.
Yeah.
All right. Good.
Yes.
Clearly.
Mr. Opo, please go ahead, sir.
So do you, Adams? Oh, okay. Okay. All right. Thanks. So to the first one, just to clarify, I did not say their cultures are the same. I only inferred to my family group leaders, example. I use that as almost children of 20-something-year-old, 21, 22, or 23, 24. They don't marry, they are fine, they're good, So I'm not saying that that's what we'll do. I'm just saying that what makes people so money-oriented, and that's not just Nigeria, by the way. That's most developing countries. I listened to the economists last year, and they were doing an analysis of how Afghanistan, how there are lots of unmarried men there. Lots of unmarried men, and they're saying that those unmarried men they're
okay, the sound.
More chaos because they have only rich men marrying all the women. All the rich men are marrying all the women there, So yeah, that's why, because they have money. The men, and these are an Islamic country. Okay. You can. Hello, can you hear me, Adams?
Yes, I can hear you, sir. I can hear you. Go ahead.
Okay. Sorry about that. So I was referring to Afghanistan, the example where I said that Islamic country. So it cut across that every society where you have a lot of poor people, you see the women gravitating towards the rich men. That's normal. That's normal. But the church, God's church is instant. So even we say, oh, let's bring it home, but it still remains God's church. It's God. If you read in Acts chapter, how the disciples donated and gave, and distributed to everybody according to their need. You would not even tell who owns what, who is rich, who is poor. That's God's kingdom. What does that tell us? That tells us that money is just a substance. It's just a means in God's kingdom. It's not used to measure your character. That's what I'm saying. So whether you bring it here or you take it to United States, you should not measure a man or a woman's character by money. That's the point. I hope I answered that. I clarified that.
Yes, I hope so. Jonisa, please, you can confirm that. You're losing your audio, Mr. Hopo.
It's part of life. If you date,
Victor, I think we're losing you. We can't hear you.
It shouldn't be a do or die. It shouldn't be a do or die. Now, the truth is that as humans, we have emotions. Oh wow. Oh man, I don't know. What about now? Is it still bad?
I think there's a lag.
Maybe Rotimi should answer.
I think there's a lag. Yeah. Oh wow. Can you log out and try to reconnect to the call?
Mr. Oppo, if you log out and reconnect again, I think that'll be better. Are you there?
Yes. Can you hear me?
Yes, I can hear you, Mr. Hawaii.
Yeah. I hope that when he connects, we'll be able to hear him better. But here's what I think is trying to the point is in terms of bringing it home. Definitely, we have to always think of how we apply what God has instructed us, in our reality, regardless of where we are at or our status. To the question of, okay, the financial status, how does that affect, typically girls or ladies or sisters or whatever, would, be concerned about the financial status of someone before deciding to commit their life to the brother. I think I would like to step back a bit in terms of establishing perspective. Yes, our financial status is a major concern on the long run, on how the quality of life will be and all that stuff. But here's how I think about it. One, before we say, let's bring it home in terms of in the Western societies, the financial status might not be a thing and they could just find a way to look over it. And because there's a system that kind of gives a level of security, right? That is that. We can't relate with that because we don't exist in that reality. But let me bring it to something I feel everybody here can relate with. First, the foundation is, if the foundation we're building on is our decisions should be based on what God expects, on how we should measure who a good partner is, the potential, thinking of what value we bring to each other, thinking about how this person can encourage me, spur me up, how we can love each other and grow each other and all that stuff. And we are saying money should not be the unit of measure. Yes, money should not be the unit of measure, but what is not sin, what is internal within. Apply that to the village. If you go to the village, will the realities or expectations change? Because right now we can say we are to the village, or the people living in the village, or disciples living in the village, we are to them what it feels like how US is to us, or the Western society is to us, where some things might not matter and we begin to just overlook them, right? It might not be a big deal to them, but to us it's a big deal. In the same way, some things will not be a big deal to us here, people who are living in the city or who are enlightened, but we can begin to see how it might be an issue for people living in the village, right? But you see how the foundation, if it's consistent, can be applied in any circumstance. I don't think anybody here will argue with the fact that looking at character supersedes your bank balance. How do I know? Because if you have all the money and a bad character, would you choose that as opposed to having just character and no money? You guys get what I'm trying to say? Of course, the ideal situation is let's get the best of both worlds. But the point here is the foundation of what we are building on is what we should always remember. When we get to situations where there are disputable matters or there are genuine concern, definitely those things should be addressed. Those things should be talked about. Those things should be looked into. I think it would be good if we think about how this person I'm building a relationship with, what is his disposition to life? What is this? Let's even say, okay, all boxes are checked with spirituality. How about the other aspects of life in terms of diligence, in terms of hard work? What is that person like? So that one is a case that transcends all economic status, regardless of either you are living in the UK or you are living in Lagos or you are living in Lekki or you are living in you are living in Ogumosho or somewhere deep in the village or somewhere out of civilization. If the king of the village has all the cowries and everything and is the most famous, and yes, he can command basically anything he wants to get, would you rather have that as opposed to somebody having a good character, a character you can build on, that can rely on, that can encourage you and spur you on towards a better life? I think that, for me, is the foundation of what should be considered. But of course, as Christians, as disciples, our foundation is God. Whatever we're building, our own filter first rests on God. God is what we consider. How is this person able to, spur me on? How am I able to spur this person on? Are we on the same page in that level? You get? So I think if we think about it that way, it removes the question of cultural context or realities, because it's the same Bible that we read here that is read everywhere else. But we are saying, how do we hold on to the principles that are timeless while we use that to address the many variables and concerns and everything in between? So I think if you think about it from that point of view, we are easily able to find how we can navigate the complexities of our individual concerns. I'm not saying you should not be concerned about someone's financial status. If somebody is perpetually always in debt, if somebody is perpetually always, always in need, okay, yeah, you might be spiritual, you might be holy, you might be everything. Yeah, you might be encouraging, you might be inspiring, you can, talk me out of depression, you can do all that. But if you are perpetually always in financial mess, you're always in debt and you're always getting into one kind of trouble, that's a concern that should be addressed, regardless of where you are at, even though you don't have the money now. You get? So I think that foundational principle is what we should consider while we address the variables of things that can change. So without flogging it too much, that's just how I think about the question that you raised. I know the second question is I mean, I can't respond to that because it's an individual, it's a personal question that only he can respond to. Hopo, are you able to,
Okay, no, Allah. Yes. I found a very good spot. So I think, yeah, where I was, I think the connection was just bad. So I looked for a good spot. Yeah. Yeah. So most importantly, my anchor is not on my relationship. My anchor is on God. You get that's fundamental. So when I've had 3 breakups now, did I feel bad? Of course, I felt bad, but I never, not even once, shook my faith. Not even for once, because God gave me a wonderful sister, to date, to get to know her, and God also saw it when it was going, and God did not say, "Oh, disapprove it." Okay, so why should I cry? Why should I die? And my if you remember what I shared last week, I think I even sent a scripture to buttress. It's not date or die, it's date. If he ends up in marriage, amen. If he ends up not in marriage, hallelujah. As long as we stay pure and the dating pool, is kept clean. The reason why I'm confident of this is because, I don't have any negative investments in it. Now, did I feel bad? Yeah, I felt bad, but it's not a matter of I want to kill myself. I want to leave the church. What? I want to lose everyone because of someone? I can't even imagine that. I cannot even imagine that. So yeah, emotions are real, feelings are real, but I need to put emotions and feelings aside when it comes to the things of God. Yeah, that's it. My first relationship, wonderful person. It didn't work out. There was emotions flying around, but I kept my cool. When I broke up with the third person, that one I prayed. I said, God, I've been serving you. I've been a good guy. What's happening? Why can't you just let me meet the person? But I'm grateful. I'm grateful that I did it. Actually, all the people I did it, because if I look back, there were some character modifications, some things, a lot of things I was learning about women that I'm now applying it today. And my wife sees me, wow, yeah, you refined your mom. I say, this one did lucky. She no date me when I did the first person or the second person. So what am I saying? I'm saying that my anchor, in summary, is on God. It's a journey. God took me through this journey, or allowed me to go through this journey, and I'm grateful for it. So there's nothing. It's just that we stigmatize it. There's nothing wrong with having a breakup. It's just I met this brother. There's a brother in my family. Who was in my family. Yeah, I moved to the north. Adrian has dated 5 times. Yeah, he has dated 5 times. Cool. This guy is superb. Out of the 5 that he told me, the first person he said, the first person I dated was a Nigerian sister. I really love this. She just broke up with me. I said, why? I said, I don't know why. She just still said, oh yeah, she started the relationship. So, and this guy is a wonderful guy. He's one of the guys that gave me the best reception when I came to Texas. Just because he said, oh man, you're Nigerian, man. He knows a lot of good stuff about us. Can you imagine? So if it's some people now, if it's some of us now, you be Nigerian, you break up, I go now poison, I go put for your food, because he's a godly brother. He doesn't see it as a go-slow in his life. He even sees it as, I know about Nigeria now. I can even take you out. I can even show you a lot of good stuff about your culture. Yeah. That'll be my response to that.
Thanks, bro. Thanks, Mr.
Thank you, Mr. Oppo.
Yeah, so I really appreciate, because like you said, you mentioned one word, stigmatized. And that's the word there, and it's very sad. You get, but anyways, thanks for the response. And because me, the way I'm handling my own breakup, people are like, I am still speaking to this person, and you are still in the, I'm like, I don't understand this. Should I run away from her? You get, so it's about handling it maturely and everything, and let God be praised. So thanks, man. I appreciate it.
Okay, thank you, John Israel, and I'm pleased to know that the question was due justice was done to that question. Gerard, please go ahead. We're trying to round up now. We've overlapped with our time. Let's just be brief, and then let's see how we round up quickly. Gerard, please go ahead.
Good evening, everyone. Can you hear me?
Yes, I can hear you. Please go ahead.
So for mine is more like sharing my own perspective. I'm not sure I really have a question, but from what they call it, there's something I've heard before. They like it says until like you date a girl abroad, that is when you actually like understand true love and stuff like that. But aside that one, I know like before I got baptized, like if I date when I'm dating a girl, it's basically just me love bombing her, and then she'll say yes, cause obviously I love bomb her and stuff. So it's after like my last relationship was last year, and we broke up, which was calm and everything. It was calm. Then it was after the relationship I found out like this girl never actually wanted to date me. Now like okay, like like because when I asked her and she said yes to me, but after we broke up, she said after she said yes, she asked herself why did she say yes. So during that period of after the breakup, like this way I was learning things about myself, seeing my red flags and everything. And like I said, like having breakups, I don't see breakups as a bad thing because from all past relationships, there are things you learn about yourself and they help you to become a better person if you're willing to learn. If you're willing to learn. So they help me to become a better person because I was basically when I like a girl, I just start liking her and I tell her I like her and I'm just love bombing and everything. And after I don't even care to even get her own opinion if she actually likes me, what she even likes about me. You understand? I'm just telling her because I'm using my own feelings to what do you call it to counter her feelings or to like to just counter her feelings or to just sync our feelings together. I don't even want to even know how she's feeling and stuff like that. So it's after this breakup that I was able to like then that this thing I'm doing is a very nonsense thing. So after like I've gotten baptized now, like now I see things in a more different way. Become like I feel like once you break up, you actually learn things from the relationship. Like what did you do? Was I the bad guy? Like obviously like you actually be able to learn some things, but I'm calm about it and stuff. So even this year, there was a girl that
Okay.
actually liked me. There was a girl that actually liked me, and I like her back also. And she was just like it was very, very sweet. You get and our friends were like, I'm not taking her seriously. That I've not yet asked her out and stuff. I'm not taking her seriously. I've not yet asked her out and stuff. I think like if you people understand how my last relationship was, my last relationship was just me meeting a girl 2 weeks. So I'm not even sure it was 2 weeks or up to a month. We started dating. Relationship didn't even last a month. I think barely a month, almost a month. Broke up and very, very, very painful breakup. Honestly, very painful breakup. Like if you people actually understand how my last relationship went, you will know why I've not dated this girl yet. Because I don't want to make same mistakes again. Because if I'm making same mistakes again, it means I have not learned my lesson. Understand? And I mean, I say I want to
Yeah.
take my time. I want to take my time to get to know you, and you also get to know me. Because my last relationship was like after we're not dating, like after when we're
Okay. Gerald, are you
already
there?
dating, like so I didn't know you had this. Well, like what do you get? Yeah, I'm here. So it was more like realizations and stuff. So like drawing it to a close now is like I feel like as disciples that we are, we should be able to like get to know each other first before dating because it actually helps. Because once you're dating a person, yeah, you can let her know that yes, you're interested in them, talking stage, get to know each other well, get or something, but you should be able to get to know each other and properly vet yourself out so like you know if you're actually compatible and stuff. Because I don't feel rushing into a
Okay.
relationship or like yes, you want to having a relationship is something very beautiful, honestly. And I don't envy those that are in
Okay.
relationship because I know how hard it is to like maintain a proper relationship and stuff. I'm saying 15 seconds left. I'll be done before 15 seconds. So yeah, basically that is
Okay.
it. That's it
Please
for me.
round up within that. Okay, thank you, Gerard. Thank you for that wonderful contribution. We'll be having Queen, and after Queen, I have a very wonderful text there that I want to read out. It's sort of like a question from Stacy. So we're going to hear from Queen, and afterwards, I think Stacy will be the last person that will be taking, and then we bring the curtains to a close for today. So please, Queen, go ahead.
Okay. Good evening, everybody. Thank you for the sharing. Thank you for the class. Can you hear me, please?
Yes, I can hear you.
Okay, so this is Queen again. Yeah, I've been thinking about something. I know that in our church, we are taught to focus on building a strong friendship first before, considering dating, which I really appreciate because, it helps us to get to know each other on a deeper level without pressure. But I have also noticed that even with that foundation of friendship, some relationships still end in breakups. So it makes me just wonder, like, if I've taken the time to, build that connection and, understand each other, why do things still fall apart later on? Is it that friendship alone isn't enough? Or are there other factors that come into play once people start dating? I need to be clarified on this. Thank you.
Okay. So thank you, Queen, and then thank you everyone. Mr. Opo, please. You can start off with Queen's question, and then afterwards I'll be reading out Stacey's question. She said, thank you so much for the class and all the sharing. It's been amazing. And she's asking now, at what point in a friendship can we say the friendship is ready for a dating relationship? I don't know if you want to merge the two questions together so we come to a quick close.
Okay, back to what I said. Thanks, Stacey, and thanks to the other person who shared in the chat. I hope my audio won't go off. Back to what I said. If you start feeling beyond superficial friendship with a disciple, give it a try. It does not have to end in marriage. There's nothing wrong with breakup. If you're feeling something, you're going to church and you're thinking about this brother only. You when you said, "Oh, bro, can we talk?" Then another person is standing there, like, what's this person looking for, bro? That means you have a feeling. Try talk to your discipler. Let them confirm if the feeling is mutual. If it is, you both take it beyond superficial. So it's the truth is that you will know even when you pray. It's good to pray about it, but that's ambiguous. Yeah, let me put it that way. That's ambiguous. But once you have a beyond superficial feeling for a brother, bounce it off your discipler. You guys should, know if it is from both and give it a try. That's what I subscribe to. I don't subscribe to you're already no. That's not how it should be done.
Mr. Opo,
That's how it should be. That's how it's done.
We're losing
what actually in the world already.
Can you hear me, sir? We are losing the audio and we can't hear you.
He's out. He's out of the call.
Okay. I think we should just find a way to round this whole thing up.
Can I respond to her? Yeah, can I respond to her question?
Yes, you can do that in brief, please.
Because it appears I don't think she heard. There's a question about, okay, we're told to build friendship first, then before going to dating. So why do people then break up? I asked that question too, for many years as a single person. And yes, there is need for friendship to come first because that is what sets the foundation. And remember, we're talking about building friendship with somebody that has, I mean, just like Oppo would put it, when you have more than superficial feeling for someone, that there's something more that you are trying to, get to come out of this relationship. Remember, I said something about stages of love. There's the infatuation that starts out, and there's that level of excitement that brings attraction. Then once you get close, you now begin to understand each other or learn about each other, and different things begin to come up. So it is in that space that you are expected to get to understand more than what you have seen from afar. There are almost limitless reasons why there will be something that you feel you might not just be able to manage or compromise. If I would use, build on the foundation that our speaker had said, that in friendships, there are different levels of compromise. Some of them you are able to tolerate, some of them you are not able to. Not because it is sin, but just because of your person or preference or personality and everything in between. So it is as you build the friendship, the way you build the friendship to an extent and you felt comfortable enough to say, okay, I want to take it further to get to know this person some more. That is the idea of dating this person. I want to get to know this person some more. So once you now begin to date, there are more expectations from yourselves in terms of, okay, you are expected to now begin to talk to each other with certain levels of deeper understanding that you couldn't have, before you started dating each other, to getting to know the person's emotions, how the person feels about certain things, or understand certain things of life and all. It is somewhere along that line that you would now begin to realize. Hello? Hello?
Yes, I can hear you. Please go ahead. We were losing your sound, but it's okay now. Yes, I can hear you now. Go ahead.
All right. So it is somewhere along that line when, now that you are able to express a bit more in that dating relationship, that you can now say, okay, all right, maybe I don't think I might be able to, bear with this, And again, not because it's a sin. And sometimes it could be that you are finding maybe each certain member of the party is not righteous, because there's that too. So there are several reasons. It could be personality, it could be trauma, it could be childhood issues, it could be current life traps, it could be so many things. It could be spiritual convictions, that the person's conviction can just swerve away. So there are many, many reasons why people decide to go their separate ways while still maintaining their friendship. So there's that. There's another thing I want to mention. Not every good friend will eventually be a husband or a wife. There are some people that will just be best friends. There are some people that, you have solid friendship, but it might not just go beyond that. And I usually give the example of me and my very good friend, Bimbo Oyegunle. Skilante, for those who know, one of my friends, very good friend, Sheon Oyegunle, the wife. Before Sheon came into the picture, we were like 5 and 6. We would tease each other in many ways that some other people would get offended. But because of our level of friendship, we were that close. I was kind of like the guy he would report to about his boyfriend, that kind of thing. Even when she started dating, or I was dating my wife at the time. So to understand that there are different levels of friendship. So it is not every very deep friend that might translate to having a dating relationship or somebody you eventually marry. But it is just understanding yourselves as you go. Then when, you get to a level of, feeling and emotion and understanding from both parties, that is why you now need to find out, based on the system that we have put in place as a church. Okay, I think I want to take this further with this person. I would like to know if it is mutual. Then you get all the necessary checks that would help you encourage that, okay, you can go ahead with it. So that's a long question, a long response to a question you asked about, how do I know
Yeah.
You know, what else can cause breakup, even though you have good friendship? There are so many reasons. So yeah. Thank you.
Thank you, Mr. Y, and thank you everyone for sparing this time around. And thank you. It has been a very engaging conversation. It has been wonderful, and I think we've been challenged. Of course, our perspectives have been shifted and changed at some point, and this is what we look forward to. This is what this whole platform is in. It is established to this intent that we come here, we grow. We don't come and stay the way we came. We learn. We look things. We see things from other people's points of view, and we try to adapt to them. We learn. We learn in different ways. So thank you very much. So the network has been having mood swings, which is very evident. So thank God for that. But so far so good. We done a lot, and then of course thank you Oluwaseun for that. Please, you can check up in our group. We have the Waiting and Dating by Miles Monroe, which is very wonderful. You can have more insights on that. But for now, let me just say the announcement quickly. Tomorrow, Saturday, at the Shomodo Mushin facility, 10 a.m. to 1 p.m., we'll be having our Bible Talk Leaders Workshop. Please, Bible Talk leaders and assistants and all aspiring Bible Talk members or Bible Talk leaders, please, you're invited and come on board. Let's learn. Let's grow as a community together. And don't forget, on Sunday, we'll be having our Sunday worship service at 8 a.m. to 9:30 a.m., which will be a very wonderful time again. So I want to encourage us all to make sure we turn up in numbers. And if you cannot, by every means, due to a reason beyond your control, do join us online and make sure you have a wonderful fellowship with us. So here's why I bring down the curtains of today's devotional: dating, relationship within the discipleship community. It has been wonderful. I want to say thank you to Mr. Hoppo for stepping in and for clarifying some thoughts, and for to all of us who shared one way or the other, asked questions, and to us who weren't able to ask questions, please forgive us. We have time next time. So please, let's go to God in prayer. Our Father in heaven, we want to thank you for today. We want to thank you for all that we've learned. We want to thank you for the way we've spoiled each other, the questions that were asked, the insights that were given, the comments, the things that were shared. Everything was profound, and it is to our profiting, it is to our learning, and we've been encouraged, we've been challenged. Father, continue to help us in this path, continue to guide and direct us. Indeed, as young people, we are saddled with the responsibility to come and take up the responsibility of the church. And we cannot do it in a way that will not bring glory unto you. We want to date the right way. We want to fall in love the right way. We want to get married the right way. We want to be in marriage relationships the right way that will bring glory unto you. Continue to help us in this path. Continue to direct us, and continue to let us grow with each other, even in friendship, in dating, and in marriage. We thank you for all that we've learned today, all that we've heard today. We pray that it stays with us, it bears fruits in our lives, and make us better people going forward. These and more we ask, even in the name of Jesus Christ. Amen. Thank you very much. Thank you. It has been wonderful. Thank you.
Amen.